and welcome to the Sip and Chat, where we sip and we chat about very important topics. As I wait for my co host, Miss Nexie, I wanted to encourage you that if you're new here, to feel free to subscribe to the channel and turn on your notification bell to all. That would really be appreciated. And welcome to the Sip and Chat. I hope you have something nice to drink. We're going to get into this topic every Thursday. Myself and Miss Nexie, we go into some really awesome topics, and today will be no different. So I'm really looking forward to, excuse me, getting into today's conversation and topic. Um, Today, I wanted to get into talking about a time machine because I think everybody goes through things in their life and maybe they made some decisions that maybe they regret. And like, just if you had the power to go back in time, would there be something that you would change? Would you change maybe doing something? Would you change the relationships that you've had? Or would you keep things the same? Would you go into the past and do something that maybe you should have done at the time, but now having the knowledge, you would do things differently? I know for myself, I could think of many things in my life that I would change if I could go back in time. But the things that I would like to change, if I could go back in time, I would really and truly take more pictures with my loved ones. That's something that I wish that I had now in hindsight. I wish I had more pictures with my loved ones that are no longer here. I would go back in time and spend more time with them and make more memories and do all of those things. I think the majority of us, we would usually go back in time and do better than we we did like now. Here's my co-host. Yeah, so I would go back in time and I would do that differently. I would make sure that I would have done some more things with my mother and my father and my brother and my aunt. Here's my co-host, Miss Nexie. Hi, how are you doing?
Hello, Miss Marlene. Hi, Chad. How are you guys doing? How you doing, Miss Marlene?
Doing great. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh God, you're very welcome.
Yes. So, Miss Nexty, welcome to the Sip and Chat. Um, what are you sipping on tonight?
Uh, mm, just water, just water. I'm just gonna say just water. You know my usual, Miss Marlene. I'm sipping on a nice warm cup of coffee, even though it's hot. I just wanted a cup of coffee.
Yeah, that's fine. Today I don't have anything like exciting or anything. I'm just having a strawberry lemonade.
Oh, that's not exciting.
Not for me because it's no
It doesn't
alcohol.
have anything.
There's no alcohol in there. You know, I told you that I have been doing a lot of focusing on so many things. Been doing a lot of cleansing and um I just have been in this space in my life spiritually where I just feel like backing away from those things because I don't want anything to inhibit my healing and my growth because I want to have my full consciousness. So that's what I've been doing.
It's weird how we go through those. Sorry, we got to start talking right now, but the
Uh-oh. Is that me? Is that me? Did my mic go out, or is that Miss Nexie's mic?
Not sure if you can hear me.
Oh, I hear you now.
Oh, you can hear me now? Okay, I'm sorry. Um, no, I was saying that there is a time in one's life that I don't know what it is, but all of the sudden you just want to take really good care of yourself. You don't want to drink anything, too sugary, or you don't want to do, too much alcohol if you're into that, or you know what I mean? Like there's a point where everybody wants to be really, really good to their body. And I think that's where you and I are at, Miss Marlene.
Yes, Miss Nexie, that is most definitely where I'm at in my life. I just have been doing a lot of, um, purification. Like I said, I wanted to heal so many things in my life, and and that's what made me think of this week's topic, because this week we're talking about the a time machine. If you could go back in time, would there be something that you would change? So I started sharing something about me, and I think most people would do that, but I shared that if I could go back in time, I would spend more time with my loved ones that passed away, because unfortunately during that time I was a brat. I'm just going to say for what it is. It was just all about me, and I was very selfish, and, I wish that I could go back in time and actually, like, make time for them, like, "Let's get away, let's take a vacation, take a whole bunch of pictures," because, man, do I wish I had those memories right now.
I'm glad you said that. And the funny thing is that it's like it's part of your past. Like I was a brat. Come on, let's keep it real. You still are. So let's not dwell on that. We're just gonna say it like it is. But for me, Miss Marlene, if I could go back in time, because I, left my country to immigrate to this country, I think that what I will change is I will probably go see my people more often, at least twice a year, um, or three times a year, or four times a year, more often than I did before they departed from this, you know, wonderful world. I think that's the thing that I will change, so that I can see how they're aging, and the wisdom that is coming from that, and to have the ability to fix broken bridges, or burn bridges, as they say it, right? But I would love if I could have a time machine to go back in time, to my youth, but to have the wisdom and the thought process that I do now that I'm older. And then,
Mhm.
see them more, enjoy their company more, as you said before. But mostly is so that, we can patch all the things that were smeared or broken or whatever, fix them, and discuss what and fix those scars too, right? Heal them, make sure that we're okay, and not just pretend that we are, without ever having that tough conversation, that tough realization of I messed up and you messed up too, and let's do something about it. So that's the one thing I will fix. I would like to go back in time for that.
Oh, that's a wonderful thing. And Miss Nexie, I have to be real, because you already know how Marlene is going to say something that I probably shouldn't say. I'm going to say it anyways. I would, if I could go back in time, one specific romantic relationship, Miss Nexty, I would be Usain Bolt. I would have passed Usain Bolt when meeting this person. I would, I was like, what? You're
Miss Eileen, you took the words right out of my mouth. That's why I'm laughing. Because I was gonna say on the second one, I was gonna say if I could go back in time, I would look for a better husband.
I was like, mm-mm. I was like, no, ma'am. I said, bye because like, I ain't gonna let lightning strike. I already know that I would have changed that. I would. Hmm.
Yeah, I would have looked for a better partner. But again, because we're older and because we already lived, a certain amount of life, we can see the mistakes that we made in our youth, right? But if we could go back in time, we're still going to be young and we're probably going to make the same mistakes too.
Yeah, but but like they always talk about that when you shift things around, other things would not have happened because of that. So no, it really is. It's a give and take. Like you change this, but then you would alter something else.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like either you trace your steps back exactly the same way, right? In that time machine of yours, or you're gonna mess up and probably be worse off than you were before.
Hmm.
Like,
That's
for me, I think that for me, Miss Marlene, sometimes and I'm not gonna lie to you, I have had my moments, especially, in the process of our separation, or, of course, now that it's years later, right? I'm okay about it. But in the beginning, I had this thought process. I was angry. I was so hurt. I was very scared, and I was going through all these emotions, right? And I that's when I always said, why did I pick this type of person, to marry and have kids with or whatever. But, as time has gone on, I have realized that because of the type of heart and the type of person that I am, I needed someone that didn't share that kind of heart like mine, because I can be taken advantage of very easily because I love everyone. I want to help everyone. So I think that if I would have ended up with someone as soft as I am, and, as loving and everything, it probably would have hurt more, the divorce and separation. That's what I wanted to say. Probably would have led to something worse. So sometimes I'm thinking maybe that was good. So I probably wouldn't change that, because then I wouldn't have the kids that I have.
and that's what I'm talking about. So if you wouldn't have had kids, so maybe you would have had a better spouse, but maybe you would have never had children.
Yeah, that's true. I can't. I love spanking them. I mean, loving them, caressing them.
But
Eh,
that's what I try to think
oh, oh,
about. Go
I
ahead.
have one, Miss Marlene. I have one. If I could go back in time, this is the only thing I do wish I would have done. If I could go back in time, I will have the same spouse, the same kids, but I will marry later in life. There.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am. More mature, more traveled, more life more life that I lived, more experiences, more dating, more fun. So I will marry the same person, but later, like in my 30s or mid 30s or something.
This is what I have to say because I know you and I know myself too that if we had waited, we would not have been interested in the same people. I know you.
I'm trying to be nice here, Miss Marlene.
Oh, Miss Nexie, we know, I know you and you know me. If I had waited later on, just thinking about it, simple things like meeting different people, becoming more aware of who you are, you're not gonna be interested in the
You,
same people because you're a different person.
have you been talking to my sister? Because I was telling her that I should have waited, to get married, and she said, "No, I'm glad that you did it when you did, because if you would have waited, you would have never married." That's what she said to me. Like I was forced to marriage or something. But she said to me, if you would have waited until you were older, you would have never gotten married. And
Mm,
and it got me thinking, like, wait a minute, what do you know that you know what I mean? Like, because I guess because I'm so okay with not being in a relationship or not being married, and I'm being okay for the past 16 years. I think that's why she says that. She probably feels that, if I would have not gotten married at a young age, I probably would have never done it because I would have been more, having more fun, having more friends, more relationships. I
mhm.
probably would have not jumped
This
that
next
broom.
had waited, I think you would have been so into your career, you would have been like, "No, I don't have time for this."
I would have been over there with Miss Marlene doing the Sip and Chat live every other month
Oh my goodness.
because I had no kids.
The same thing with me. Like if my life was just like I was saying, if you shift something else, other things are going to be different. So I like to think like if things weren't the way they are now, like how would I feel just being just me?
How
I was like,
boring will that be, Miss Marlene? How boring will that be? We wouldn't have any topics to
"You
talk about.
still think at a certain point we would have ran into each other at a certain because we're too similar. So at
Oh
one
yeah.
point, probably would have met you on my travels somewhere or
Well, no, we
something.
still would have met here on, on this app, but I think that we would have been more like we wouldn't be stuck at home. We would have been traveling all over the place and doing our sip and chats from whatever in the world. but
That
but I the one thing I always knew, Miss Marlene, when I was young, I didn't know because when you're little, you don't know where children come from, right? Or how you get to that point. You see that someone has a belly and they're gonna have a baby, but that's all you know. You don't know how it comes out or how it gets in there, right? So when I was young, I will see my sisters having babies, and my eldest one was the one having babies, and I will like love them. They're so cute, they're so little. But I always knew I wanted to be a mom, right? I always knew I was gonna have a lot of babies. I didn't, but I wanted to. And I knew I was gonna have babies and I was gonna have lots of them. And I was gonna, I don't know, fill an entire house with babies. But I never saw myself as a wife in a home with a husband, things like that. I never did that. It was always me and the babies, but I didn't have any. It was just me and the kids. I always had that fantasy, that dream in my head. As you get older, you understand that without, having that partner, you can't have the other.
yeah, that's interesting. Miss
Yeah,
Nex
I always thought of babies, but not of the husband thing.
Miss Nexie, and my thing is I only ever saw myself single.
Really?
Never Miss Nexie, never. I never saw like, oh, I was gonna have kids. I was gonna get married. I never saw Miss Nexie, never. Even my whole family, they're like, nah. 'Cause they're like, yeah, she's too selfish. No, it will never.
No, no, she's gonna beat him up. No, we can't have her marry him. Poor guy.
But and that's the thing. Thinking about who you were. If I could go back, and it wasn't that long ago, Miss Nexie, it's just been about 8 years since I've changed into being who I am now.
That is very long, Missy. What do you mean hasn't been long ago? That is a
No,
very long time. Yes, it is. That is a
no, it
very long time, Miss Marlene. I thought you were gonna say like a few months, and that I've been like this.
well, I'd say that's not a very long time because I'm thinking about in the series um uh, of time and stuff. Like I've had so many years where I've been that negative person that now I can't even remember how it is to be negative. So,
Yeah, but then again, we go back 2 years. You flip those. You were so negative for this long, and you have been so positive for this amount of time. That's a very long time. because you can
Yeah.
still go back to being that. So you and that is really good. Okay, what else
Yeah.
would you change if you had a time machine?
Oh, Miss Nexie. Okay. Now, this this is where I get to be like what is it called? Peter Pan. Is it Peter Pan or who's
Oops, I'm
the one
sorry. Oop, I was
one that would
drinking water.
who is the one that would take from the rich and give to the poor?
Oh, that's Robin Hood.
Robin Hood. Why I always say Peter Pan.
Oh, because
Whatever.
that was our favorite character, Wendy, and I was Wendy, by the way. But never mind, never mind. Go ahead.
So I was Rob I would be Robin Hood and not that I would take from the rich and give to the poor, but I always have wanted to be able to be in a position to be very wealthy and to help to impact other people in a positive way.
Can I tell you what my father said to me on that matter that you're saying right now? Because I
Sure,
wanted
Miss.
to be very rich too, right? So that I could have like orphanages for the little ones, and I could have like a supermarket for the poor families to come over and take groceries, and I will fill it up. And then I will have like restaurants that they could come and eat for free. Oh, I was going to buy a McDonald's too. So that they could come and I will give all the burgers for free, right? Because I was going to be supported because I was rich. And my dad said to me, "You're so sweet. You're so pure. You're so beautifully minded. It's so amazing." He said, "But the rich are rich because they don't have those attributes that you do. They're rich because they protect their wealth. They're not rich because they give away everything. So if you were rich, you probably wouldn't have this mentality." And I was like, "What?"
Yeah, you're like, okay, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Oh, no, no, I did tell him that. I said, "I'm not listening." He goes, "Oh, yeah, I know that. I'm just talking to myself," he said. But he said
Exactly.
that to me, and I was looking at him like, "What?" I didn't understand what he meant, right? Because again, I wanted to be, one day I'm going to win the lotto, and yeah, I don't buy any tickets, but one day I'm going to win. I don't know how, but I'm going to. And so my dad is like, "No, yeah, people like you and I and your, other people that help others, they're not really rich, which is why they have the heart that they do. Rich people don't think like that." And I was like, "Huh, okay." So,
Okay. Okay, Miss Nixon, maybe I'll pivot my statement and I'll say, I don't want to be rich, but I want to be at least, how
a
about
little,
saying independently wealthy?
that is a better, yeah, that's a better term. And no, I sometimes I feel that we are in the places that we are. I feel that is because God is never wrong, right? Everything, His timing, His our lives, everything is to perfection, and His what He's willing for us to give us. But sometimes, I don't know, Miss Marlene. I feel like sometimes I would like to have like this unlimited amount of things to give away. Like I don't even want money, right? But I want to have like a whole bunch of clothing that I could give away to people. I sometimes would like to have a lot of, food, or like a big place that I can get a whole bunch of food and take it to people. Um, Sometimes I would like to have like, extra houses that I can help people, get in. I don't know, things like that. Like I don't want the actual money, right? But I would like to have the possessions that I could help people with.
Yeah, a wonderful way of being, Miss
It's a
Nexie.
dream.
Yeah, it's good to have those sorts of dreams, but it really does show the kind of heart that we have because even though we said we go back in time, we haven't said, "Oh, I want to go back in time so I could get a lot of money and I could buy a lot of things." Neither of us said those things.
Oh, maybe we should. If you construct a time machine, Miss Marlene, let's go back and make a lot of money.
It's too late, Miss Nexie. Our
It's
hearts
too late.
are Because I always said that if I had money, I already knew that I would probably be back in the same position that I am right now, not having much, because I would probably give the majority of it away. So
Yeah, one another thing, Miss Marlene, that I will do if I had a time machine, I will go back to the last argument I had with one of my siblings, or um oh no, not my dad because we didn't argue, but maybe my mom, but mostly with my siblings. Like I will go back and say I'm sorry right after that argument, maybe, or if I hurt them, right, in some way, one way or another, I would like to take that time machine and go back and repair and hug them closer and say I'm sorry, right? At that moment, not afterwards, because you always do that. You say it after, like 3, 4 days after. But I would have loved to go back and, if we had an argument or if we said something that was hurtful, I would love to go back and not say those things. And if I do, apologize right away.
yeah, Miss Nexie, I wish that I could go back in time and would have been the person that like listened and not the person like I don't want to hear it. You know how like you put your fingers in your ears like la 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 whatever. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I wish that I
Ooh.
wasn't that. That's just who I was. And I wish that I could have been in the space of, listening when people were saying things to me. But you can't help where you were in the stream of time. You know, that's
Hmm.
just it's what it was. And now that I am where I am now, I'm grateful that I have people in my life that have been able to see the changes that I've made in my life. I'm grateful for that the most, that I still have people that have said, you've made a lot of changes in your life, Marlene. And that makes me feel good because it's not just me saying it. They're like, woof. We're like, we were concerned for a while.
I can only imagine. They're probably like, this child is something else. I feel bad. I feel really concerned when she gets older because she is a feisty little thing, right? Is that what they were saying?
Yeah. They were more like, oh, we for sure thought you were gonna be in prison. Yeah, everybody's like, yeah, sure. Like what?
Oh my lord. No. Oh, you know what, Miss Marlene? I know what okay, if I had a time machine, I know what I will do. Of course, I will have to know you, and I was always meant to know you, but you and I will go backpacking when we're in our youth through Europe. That's the dream I always had, like to go like for months and months and months and months just backpacking through Europe.
One thing that I have is because I don't know if I've ever told you, but I love, love, love Ella Fitzgerald. And she passed when I was like maybe about 12 years old.
I love her
And
too.
and if I could go back in time, I would go back in time to be like 10 years old and then find a way to get the money and go
To
and see
watch
her.
her. Yes, to go see her in concert. I will go back. Yes, yes, and we could too, Miss Marlene. Let's just build the time machine and we go back and we have her sing that beautiful song.
Yeah.
Just to the two of us. Like we'll buy the entire arena just for us.
Oh, somebody's rich.
No, it wasn't that much money back then, but it doesn't matter. Okay, we can have the same wealth as now, but back then. But I would like
Yeah.
to but I would like to go all the way to the beginning of her career. That's where I
Hmm.
want to go back to. I want to see
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, when it's like okay, because I've seen a few of her videos and stuff, but it's in black and white. I was like, how did it really look like in color? You know what I mean? I want to see it in color live, not in black and white.
Yeah,
Mm.
no, I want to see it black and white.
What
On my time, yes. If we go back, it has to be in black and white. No, no color, Miss Marlene. None
you?
whatsoever. We're gonna be watching everything in black and white. The
Oh,
streets, the stores, the concerts, everything black and white.
I already know
No,
I was putting myself in a situation by saying that.
you know what? I would love to go back to. Like, I don't know. I think that the person that I would love if I had a time machine to go back to is Louis Pasteur. I would love to go back to his time and see how he came up with, the rabies vaccine and the germ theory, and would love to work for him in his lab. I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
I'm nerdy.
Well, actually, I have a love of cake and things, so I would love to go back in time and like press the play button and be 18 again, and and be able to like go and live out my dreams, and actually go and work in a bakery
You just
in
want to
France.
go eat your youth away. That's what you want to go do. Stuff yourself with pastry, and you know that you're not gonna gain an ounce of weight.
I want to be able to go and I could eat bread, gaining 30 pounds by
That's
looking.
what I'm saying. You just want to be a gluten. You just want to go over there at 18 years old and eat your way through the entire bakery and not gain a pound.
That's what I'm looking at. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
do I, Miss Marlene.
and,
So
and
do
the good
I.
the good stuff, and just eat all the cheese and the bread, and oh yeah, the
The
good
bread,
that's the
most of it. The bread, the pastries, most of it.
yep. Because
Go to a Parisian cafe and just sit there and ask for every single pastry they got.
mhm,
Sit there for hours, you and I, like having cappuccinos and, like, I don't know, any type of coffee. And all the pastries in the oh, that will be so heavenly.
yeah, I know, Miss Nexie, when I went to Paris and I had some of them, how like, but I went to Paris not that long ago, but if I had went when I was younger, I wouldn't have been like, oh well, just get one, because that's what I did when I went. Because you already
What?
can't eat all of that. But if I had went when I was young, I would be like, okay, I want this one, this one, this one.
Miss Marlene, let me tell you, I
Right.
had, I did not like when I will go, and this is something that even my ex will always be like, where in the world do you put all that food? Because I will eat and eat and eat. Like we'll go to, I don't know, to eat a night out or anywhere we went traveling. I will just food. What is my thing? I will eat anything at any time and stuff myself in a buffet. Everything like plate after plate after plate, and I would not gain an ounce, not an ounce, not a pound, nothing. And I already had two babies, and I was 120 pounds the most with two. And I don't know what happened after 30.
I already know what happens. Life.
Mr. Rico was born,
And he changed the
and he changed everything in me. No, but it's funny because I have never been the type. I cannot diet, Miss Marlene. I can't. I'm the type of person that I eat, and you know how people say don't eat after 7, don't eat after this, don't eat after that. Sometimes because of the type of work we do, we cannot adhere to that, right? We got to eat when we can. But I'm also the type of person that is not going to limit, eating something just because, I don't want to gain weight. Like I'm not like that. So that has a lot to do, I guess, with us, with me gaining a little weight or whatever. but I cannot diet. I get sick. I get like shaky. I try to do it and I couldn't.
Oh, Miss Nexie, you're gonna really think this is hilarious. Every time I can't even talk about
Go on, talk, woman.
every time I say I'm gonna be on a diet, in less than 24 hours, I already fall off.
You fall off the wagon.
Yeah, I'm on a diet. I'm not. Oh yeah, I'm done with that. By the morning, I already have woke up, I ate bread and jam, and go to sleep. Not that. I'm
I
not-
again, I can't do that. Like I don't, and maybe because I don't have discipline, I guess. But for me, is I get very I shake a lot and I get irritated and I'm like, why am I starving myself? Why not, walk more or do something else? I don't know, but I don't cannot limit myself to food. I can't.
No, Miss Nexie, I can't limit food, but what I can do is I can, like you said, I can get into exercise. So let me talk about something else. And this is the geek in me, Miss Nexie.
Hmm.
I have always wished that I could get some of those books, that have been was bound way back when, those really expensive books, and have a whole like a huge home that it was nothing but books.
The ones that
Um,
were burned, right?
yeah, I want all of those books, and I would just sit there and read. And so, first, that may not be a dream for everybody, but I am a person. I can read from the sun comes up to the sun goes down.
So can I. We're a family of readers, and my kids, since they were little too. Like right after dinner, from 7 to 8, sometimes from 6 to 7, depending on what time we had dinner. It was an hour at least of reading, and they'll pick their books, whatever they wanted to. I just wanted them to read, and they're into that habit, and so am I, because my dad used to say that. She used to do that with us. You have to read. Pick a time when you can read and sit down for 30 minutes and read. And so I have that love of books. And it doesn't matter. Like, especially if it's really good, Miss Marlene, I cannot just put it down. I can't.
Oh, Miss Nexie, you know what I've done before? I've been reading books for so long, and my eyes are getting tired, and I'll take a finger on each side and pull my eyelids open. I was like, it's almost only got 5 more pages because I have to. At the I cannot sleep. I just got to be done with the book.
Oh yeah, you and my child too. She will
Yeah.
she will like, I will tell her, okay, put that book down. You cannot just go to bed. Come on. And in the morning, before I will wake her up to go to school, and she'll be so tired. And I'll be like, did you stay up reading that book? No, mom. And I will see the marker. It was literally almost like 2 pages away from the end when she had just barely started it. Okay, I'm sorry. I couldn't put it down. As she got older, she'll be like, "Oh, I had to read the whole thing, mom. I'm so tired right now. I can't, but I have to go to work, so I can't sleep. But I'm so happy with the book." So
Wow.
you have the same problem as my child.
Same problem. And that's the reason why I know if it's a book that I'm interested in, there's no way I'm gonna start it because I said I cannot stay up tonight. I got somewhere to be tomorrow. Okay,
Exactly. You okay? Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to talk about using that time machine. Okay, if you could bucket list 10 places that you could go if you had a time machine during whatever time period, where are you going?
Again, I said to the native land of Louis Pasteur. I will
Mhm.
go to um Uh, what else? What else? What else? Maybe I cannot say this. I think I will go back to. Ah, you know that Charles Dickens. You know that the Christmas books and movies and all of that. I think I will go back to that, to England where he lived, and in that era
Okay. Okay. I got
so
one.
far.
I transport myself to the 1920s because I love the Roaring Twenties, the way that everybody dressed, and I would go to like learn originally how to do those swing dances.
Oh my God. The Roaring 20s? That's where you want to go, you little party animal?
You already know that's me. That is definitely me. I would definitely be up there. What do you call it? Doing the jitterbug and all of those dances. That's me. Hmm.
Oh my Miss Marlene, I cannot believe you will do that.
I would have to be 18. I don't know why all my things for the time machine. I want to be 18. So
Maybe because you knew that I think it's because we will stay up longer.
I won't want to say, oh, I gotta go to bed. It's almost getting to be that time.
Oh, okay, yeah. And you know what? I forgot to say something that it will be like the time for for the first one for Louis. I think I will have to. It will have to say. I think it was 18, 1850, 1840, something like that. When he discovered that, I'm not sure, but it was back then. So I will have to go back to the 1800s to work in his lab.
Go again, but you in this lab.
I have to. He was so ahead of his time, and he discovered so many. I mean, he was the first one to literally discover a cure for rabies. And who wouldn't want to be part of that, right? And the fact that germs will create death from birth and stuff like that. That we needed to have everything clean and boiled and whatever and all the instruments. So those particular things are the ones that I would love to go back to and find out how he came up with that and why.
Okay. Well, Miss Lexi has such noble things. I'm just trying to do cool stuff. Like I want to go and I want to be in the first flight with Amelia Earhart. Yeah,
Oh, and you're
yeah.
talking about cool things. I want to go too.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Just know that all of us would be such good friends. I know that. And
You
my
know, it
always
will
said me and
be,
her were going to be besties. Yep.
it will be interesting to see how you will. I don't know. I think you'll probably take charge of the plane ride and you'll probably tell her, no, I'm going to direct this plane. You just look at the map, tell me where we're going, but I'm going to be driving and
Yeah.
taking
I
charge of this plane. You'll be
probably why
bossy.
probably why we can't because we would completely change time. So instead of Amelia Earhart, it's going to say Marlon.
Mark,
Good thing that we can't go back in time because everything would be Marlene invented this.
you would change everything. Oh, okay, okay. One more, one more. I would love to go back to the era of Mark Twain.
Oh no, Miss Nessie.
Again,
Why?
we're going back to the 1800 because you see, they're just there's so much that I want to like. I love the way their writings. I love the way they gave us so much for even to this day for so much for us to kind of like the reading that fantasize on to remember history by. So there's so much that I would love to go back to that, see how he did it.
Wow. I would go back in time and like see the first like set press when they were printing books and things like that. Like I
See.
want to, yeah, see how they were making like the print and everything. Yeah, I'm a nerd. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You see, we will go back and then find out what gave them those ideas and um how complicated it was for them. And especially, that a lot of women couldn't really be part of any of that because no publisher would ever, publish one of their novels or whatever. So they used to have to use like pseudonyms. But what I would love to go back to that time because in the process of understanding how their writing came about and the process they used and whatever else, I will also learn why women weren't allowed.
Yeah. I would
Right?
I would like to find out, like, are the people who invented it, who are getting the credit for it, is it really their inventions or was it really somebody else?
Yeah, we'll probably find that out too.
Thought that, like, I don't believe, like, you ever look at some of these inventors' pictures and I'm like, I don't think you made that. You don't look like
Yeah.
you can
Or
make
it
that.
will be Miss Marlene, it will be Mark Twain, published by Dexys Printing House.
Yep, that sounds
See, I will own my own printing house, and I'm a female, so I will make history too, just like you.
and people like us, I think we would really change history because we would be like, "That's not right. No, I'm a woman. It still
Miss
got to."
Marlene, Miss Marlene, we should go back to. No, I'm not gonna say it. I don't want any problems. I'll tell you later. But yeah, you see, we're gonna have all these things, all these places that we're gonna visit, and then with all that money from my printing presses and everything, and you inventing the papers, we'll be billionaires by now. We could be helping everybody.
Yeah, and then and give it to people. I don't understand why, like way back when, people who were very wealthy, why did it always have to go to your relatives? Why couldn't they give to causes in their name? Maybe they didn't
Yeah,
know about things. I don't know.
maybe we will
Uh,
learn. So let's
Yeah,
let's start making that time machine.
yeah. Start making the time machine, Miss Nicole. And you know what I would do? I know it's gonna sound crazy to you. It'll sound crazy to everybody. My whole family already knows all of this, and they say, "Oh God, here she goes." I would have a dog farm. Mhm.
Oh my god!
I love dogs.
And
Okay,
you have a farm full of them
I mean every breed, and people come from around the world to my farm.
to adopt them, right? Not to buy them, to adopt them.
'Cause I would have the best. I would have
Oh,
all
okay,
purebreds and
okay. If you're gonna have the farm, then I go back and I'm gonna be instead of Purina dog food, it's gonna be Nexie's delightful dog food, and I'm gonna invent that, and then I'm gonna donate it to your dogs.
see, and it would
There's
be
something wrong with us. There's something wrong with us.
convinced. I already know something's wrong with me. I
Oh, you already knew this is just new to me?
Yeah, it's just new to you. I was like, yeah, I'll let some of my crazy out today. Okay, yeah,
You know
okay.
what? Sometimes, since Marlene, now that we're talking about time machine, now talking about real life, right? Because we're just messing around right now. But going back to real life, sometimes I do think like, man, if I could go back, I would have handled this and this differently, right?
Mhm.
Like if I could go back, I would have not wasted time. Like I would have not gone to school for 6 months. I probably would have ended would have started earlier and graduated earlier and start practicing earlier or start teaching earlier, whatever it is, right, that I wanted to do. But I always go back and say, if I would have done this, maybe I wouldn't be where I'm at. Maybe I'll be more advanced or, in different countries, serving people, helping people. I don't know. But I always think like that. And sometimes even about my family, I'm like, what if I would have not gotten married and I finished, med school and maybe I would have been all over the world, right?
That's
Helping
that.
people.
Mhm. That's what I'm saying. I still believe e- any situation we would have been in, we still would have come to this space of being good people because that's just who we
Yeah,
are. Yeah.
yeah, that's true. But
From it.
I think that's probably what my sister meant. That if I would have waited, I probably would have never gotten married or had kids.
Mhm.
As
But
controversial as that was.
you know what I think, Miss Nexie, even if you would not have birthed them, I think you would have adopted them.
Probably. I probably would
That's
have adopted, yeah, but what she probably meant is that I would have not gone because you look at the times now, right? We don't need to be married. We don't need to, it's socially acceptable not to marry or not to be in a relationship. You can do whatever you want compared to
yeah.
back in the day, right? That you had to get married or people will look at you somewhere, somewhat in a weird way. You had to have kids because if you didn't, oh my God, something's wrong with her. And if you
Yep.
got married too late at 22, you were already an old maid.
Yep.
And if you didn't
Yeah.
get married at all, you were an embarrassment to your family. So yeah, I think that even though the times that we were raised and born in were kind of weird, I think that my sister meant like it would have not been a conventional thing for me. Like I would have been someone that never got married, never had kids, and probably saving the world.
Hmm. I think I probably my all my family says they think I would have probably went and lived in another country and helped kids in foreign lands with different things like teaching and missionary work and things like
Yep,
that.
I figure as much. I think we all have that fork in the road, as they say, right? Where you have to choose what you want to be or what you want to do in life.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't know if you do, but sometimes I think like maybe I picked the wrong, you know, era. I was born in the wrong era, or I was wrong in, I was born.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh no, Miss
Marlene,
Nix. Hey, you're oh,
did
you're
I
still
lose you?
here.
Okay,
No, I'm here, but your avatar went away. So
on with my
now
internet.
oh, it's okay. As long as you're still talking, that's all that matters.
Yeah, like I always think like maybe I was wrong. I was born in the even sometimes going into maybe I was born in the wrong family, right? Like how are these people my kid? Why are they so different than me? And maybe and sometimes I even felt like that, Miss Marlene. And I would think like, God, if I could go back in time, I'll be born to my friend's family because look at them. They're so much better, so much different than my family. I used to say that when I was a kid. I'll be
Yeah.
born into some other family because my family because they didn't understand me, Miss Maggie. Not that I was a brat like certain somebody, but they didn't understand me.
Mm.
Hmm.
I said if I could go back in time, I probably would be like some sort of agent or spy or something. I always said I never belonged anywhere, so I might as well just be able to just transform into whatever I need to be.
Yeah, there's something wrong with us.
There's that most definitely. I already know that I've accepted my inner crazy. That's why I have gone to therapy. So it's just what it is.
So I'm next. Is that what you're saying?
Next.
I'm next for therapy. No, I just think that is again, as we get older and we start seeing that, the things that we did or didn't do, or didn't do right, I should say. I think we start like fantasizing and going back and fixing them because we know that we have made certain mistakes. And I think
Mhm.
that sometimes just the hope of a time machine, or maybe in my next life, right? That
Yeah.
helps to not feel so bad sometimes for the mistakes that you have made.
Yeah. Because something that I put in the hashtag is alter your past.
Hmm.
So could alter your past, what would you honestly do? And I still don't think I would do anything crazy. I still would be doing something when it comes to becoming. I would all anything that I've always chosen has to be something that's educated because I've always
Hmm.
education, but at the same time, I still think I would have, when I was younger, I would have taken advantage before life got complicated and traveled and had experiences before I got into the heavy adulting things like just working, working, working. Like I wish I would have had some of that innocence of doing some things for me first, but you know, you can't go back in time and change that. But if I could, that's what I would do. I would do some of enjoying my youth. Yeah,
Hmm. Yep.
some of that. Mhm. But
Yeah,
it's
I
not
think I would do the same thing.
too late, Miss Nexty, because we can do that now. We can, the time that we have we can go somewhere and do something and have some fun and do some things like that. I think a lot of people think that as you get older that it's too late for you to live out your dreams and to try things, but it's never too late. Maybe you won't be able to run and move like maybe 20, 30 years ago, but you can still, if you got something that you've always wanted to do, something on your bucket list, a dream you've had, we really need to think about trying to make those things happen.
Yeah, I think that for me and my bucket list, I think I will put down um travel to different parts of the world, like take a sabbatical, right? 1 year off
Mhm.
with no money worries at all because everything in my mind will be covered. And travel to, but not to like known countries of like that a lot of people go to, but far away lands that not many tourists go, and get
Mhm.
to know the people and just enjoy my time and the foods there and the people, and learn, and just jump from one country to the next, and then
Wow.
come back home and work a little bit more. And then on my bucket list too is retired, not here but in another country, buy myself property somewhere else
Wow.
where I
That
can
sounds
retire to.
that sounds so beautiful. I've really enjoyed this sip and chat. Just like that, Miss Next Week, we just stepped
Already?
into one been live.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So we are going to reconvene next week. Thanks everybody for tuning into the sip and chat. Uh, yeah, we're gonna come up with a topic, and I'll put it on the community tab. See you guys next week. Miss
Bye,
Mexi.
everyone. Thank you, Miss Marlene, for having me. Don't forget to press the like button, subscribe, and follow if you haven't. And thank you for the support that you all give to Miss Marlene. And thank you for having me, Miss Marlene. Bye, everyone.
Bye.